Welcome back, focused learners. Today, we're jumping right into an absolutely incredible transformation story for this explainer. We are going to explore how a relatively small school founded back in 1988 evolved into a massive, premier educational engine for women in Islamabad, Pakistan. If you love seeing how structured government-backed models can scale up to create just massive social impact and open doors for thousands, well, you are exactly in the right place. Okay, let's dive into our agenda. We'll start with the institution's premier status, trace its rapid expansion, and break down its academics and hierarchy. Then, we'll explore the economics of accessibility, campus life, and finally, its ultimate impact on empowering the female workforce. Section 1. A premier public institution. Let's look at the big picture first. Islamabad Model College for Girls, or IMCG F-10/2, is a government-owned pillar of education operating directly under the Federal Directorate of Education. Their core ethos is perfectly captured in their motto, enter to learn and leave to serve. Alongside their overarching mission of education for empowerment, you realize this isn't just some catchy tagline. It immediately sets the high emotional stakes and the deep societal purpose of the institution. They're literally building a continuous educational path from primary levels all the way up to postgraduate studies, specifically for women. And just look at the sheer scale of this operation. Over 3,000 exclusively female students walk through those doors. Because of this massive demand, they operate across both morning and evening shifts. I mean, this campus is just bustling, serving residents from sectors all across the capital, as well as the suburbs of Islamabad and Rawalpindi. It's a true English medium hub of nonstop academic activity. Section 2. Decades of rapid expansion. Now, this massive student body didn't just appear out of thin air, right? Let's move to the timeline and see how this builds, because the growth has been incredibly rapid. They started out super humbly in 1988 with just 150 students. By 1994, they upgraded to the higher secondary level just to meet the growing population demands of the F-10 sector. Then, in 2004, they achieved graduate status. And look at 2018. They formally introduced 4-year BS programs, shifting into a fully modern higher education framework. It's a perfect snapshot of how an institution dynamically scales in direct response to a nation's growing need for female education. Section 3. Academics and Institutional Hierarchy. So let's step into the actual engine room of the college. How on earth does a massive government institution keep itself running so efficiently? Well, it uses a rigid, highly organized leadership tier based on the federal government's Basic Pay Scale, or BPS. At the very top is the principal, at BPS 20, who manages both administrative and academic affairs. Right beneath them are the vice principals at BPS 19, overseeing different sections. Then you have your heads of departments, and then the teaching faculty, which ranges from professors down to lecturers at BPS 17. And of course, it cascades all the way down to the essential support staff. It is a strictly organized, well-oiled bureaucratic machine. And what are all these dedicated educators actually teaching? The college is divided into 5 major academic wings. You have the Faculty of Sciences, Humanities, Commerce and IT, Social Sciences, and the General Studies Division for intermediate streams. But what's really exciting here is their specialized focus. Recently, they launched a flagship 4-year BS in Applied Psychology under the Social Sciences wing. And they have clear, active plans to expand further into IT and English. Section 4. Economics of Accessibility. Now, what's really interesting here is the stark contrast at play. On one hand, you have elite affiliations, the federal board, the internationally ranked Quaid-i-Azam University, Punjab University. But despite that massive academic credibility, the government-subsidized fee structure is shockingly accessible. We're talking just 5,000 to 7,000 Pakistani rupees annually for intermediate programs. And for university-level postgraduate degrees, just around 15,000 to 25,000 per semester. Which brings us to a crucial comparison. Why does this exact fee structure matter so much? Because it proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can have mass, government-subsidized accessibility without sacrificing high-quality professional facilities. Students here walk through a purpose-built, multi-story campus with wide corridors and green courtyards. They get access to specialized science labs for physics and biology, a botanical garden, large sports grounds for netball and athletics, a massive library, and a modern auditorium. World-class learning environments absolutely do not have to be locked behind astronomical private school tuition. Section 5. Campus Life and Student Identity. So, what is it actually like to walk those halls every day? Navigating this campus means maintaining its strong culture, and a huge part of that is the visual identity and the discipline system. The standard attire is a crisp white shalwar kameez with a white dupatta. Leadership is highly visible. The head girl wears a gold or yellow sash, while prefects wear green sashes with a college insignia. There are even house captains with distinct colors. And maintaining this standard is no joke. There's a strict fine system of 100 rupees a day for uniform violations and 50 rupees a day for coming in late. Safe to say, you definitely do not want to hit snooze on your alarm here. It really grounds you in the vivid, structured reality of what it means to be a student at IMCG. But hey, the administration doesn't just manage discipline. They tackle incredibly practical logistics too. A dedicated fleet of college buses provides safe pick-and-drop services across various sectors of the capital for just 500 to 800 rupees monthly. By physically removing those transportation barriers, the college actively ensures that geography and daily commutes don't stop young women from accessing higher education. They are literally bringing the students to the knowledge. Section 6. Empowering the female workforce. So the crucial point is, when we step back to look at the big picture, what is the ultimate legacy of this institution? Well, it all hinges on its definition as a model institution. This specific designation means the college receives higher-tier government funding and policy oversight, which directly translates into high-quality academic standards. This model status is exactly why they consistently produce board-level position holders. These are the top-ranking students who graduate and go on to massively strengthen the female workforce in healthcare, the civil service, and education all across Pakistan. And they do it all at a fraction of the cost of private universities. Which brings us to our final provocative thought for today's explainer. How can accessible, government-backed models like IMCG F-10/2 shape the future of global female education? When you combine structured, bureaucratic oversight, heavily subsidized elite academics, and an unyielding commitment to empowerment, you create an absolute engine for national development. It really leaves you wondering where else in the world this exact blueprint could be applied next. Thank you so much for joining me, and keep learning.